Welcome to the Auditor General Committee meeting of Thursday, December 4th, 2025. This meeting is being convened in person and by electronic means. Committee members and the public may participate by either method, and I do believe we have Councillor Montague online. Any voting members joining electronically are reminded to enable video to confirm quorum. The meeting is being live streamed on the city's website and YouTube, and meeting progress will be updated regularly on the X platform at Van City Clerk. In case of an emergency, I'd like to just remind you that there are two exits. There's two exits beyond the glass doors and to the left. If the glass doors are obstructed, please direct your attention to the 4 exits in this chamber. Please use the stairs, do not use the elevator. If you require accessibility assistance, please remain at your location and wait for a security staff member to guide you to a safe location. I'd also like to highlight that we do have a defibrillator located at the end of the hallway outside of council chambers. I'd also like to acknowledge we are on the unceded homelands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. We thank them for having cared for this land and look forward to working with them in partnership as we continue to build this great city together. I also want to take a moment to recognize the immense contributions of the City of Vancouver staff who work very hard every day to serve the residents of Vancouver. I'd also like to take a moment to welcome a new member of our committee, Charlene Taylor, FCPA, FCA, who was recently appointed by Council to this committee as an external advisory liaison member. Charlene is here in chambers today, and welcome to your first meeting. We're incredibly pleased to have you joining us. Yeah, we're pleased to have you, so welcome. With that, we will do a roll call. Clerks?
Yes, thank you. Councillor Dominato is in the chair. Councillor Kirby-Young.
Present.
Councillor Klassen. Councillor Montague.
Present.
Councillor Joe.
Present.
External Representative Archie G. Johnston is absent. External Representative Charlene Taylor. And External Representative Sophia Tsui is absent. You have quorum, Chair Dominato.
Thank you, clerks. So I'll walk through our plan for the day. We have one item on the agenda followed by an in-camera meeting. For in-camera, the committee is required to meet in camera later this morning. The reasons and authority under the Vancouver Charter are listed on the agenda. Could someone please move a motion to go in camera? Moved, seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? And that carries. Thank you. So we will start with our first agenda item, December 2025 follow-up report. Before we begin this report, does anyone have a conflict of interest to declare? Okay, hearing none, I am going to turn this over to our Auditor General, Mike McDonnell, who has a presentation of roughly 7 slides. We also have a large number of both City, VPD, and Park Board staff in attendance to answer committee questions. But I will now turn it over to Mike. Good morning.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, committee. I have a very brief presentation on the status of previous audit recommendations. The next one, please. Thank you. Where my audits identify opportunities for improvement in the economy, efficiency, and/or effectiveness of the city's operations, I make recommendations aimed at addressing root causes. As Auditor General, I, quite appropriately, have no ability to compel the city to implement my recommendations, but I do ask Council to endorse them. And consistent with that approach, this committee's terms of reference require it to follow up on the status of audit recommendations, which I do on your behalf. This report is the 5th semi-annual publication to allow you to fulfill that obligation. I ask City Management to provide, in their own words, an update on the status of audit recommendations contained in 7 of the 8 audit reports that my office has publicly issued to date. As representations of management, I provide no assurance regarding the completeness or accuracy of these statements. Instead, I invite you to consider whether City Management's plans to address audit recommendations are appropriate and whether the reported progress to date is adequate and plausible. City Management is here to answer any questions you may have. This committee's terms of reference also allow it to ask for evidence. That's up to you if you feel it's appropriate, and I'll facilitate any such request. Audited departments were asked to self-assess the progress under 4 categories: fully or substantially implemented, which I feel is self-explanatory. The next category is alternative action taken. Taking action is both management's responsibility and its prerogative. If management can find alternate approaches that address the issues underlying a recommendation, I consider this both appropriate and a success. The fully or substantially implemented and alternative action taken categories are merged in the upcoming summary table as I consider both to represent completion. No further follow-up work will be conducted. Partially implemented means some work is underway, and no substantial action means the department has not yet taken action. I don't necessarily take this as a rejection of a recommendation. It can, especially in early days, represent the fact that management needs to prioritize, and there's often a logical order in which actions need to be taken, that action for some recommendations takes more time than for others. I'm pleased to see that 47 of the recommendations included in the 7 audit reports released publicly up to August 2025, the city has reported having fully or substantially implemented 27 or 58% of them. Next slide, please. Thank you. This represents a 20% improvement since the previous follow-up in June. I'm also encouraged to see work advancing on nearly all other remaining recommendations. While I've done no work that would allow me to comment on the veracity of management's representations, I will say, nonetheless, it's gratifying to see audited departments report progress on all but one recommendation. I look forward to seeing further progress in the next semi-annual follow-up report to be presented to Council in June 2026. I think I've been asked to include this slide, but there is no motion, so let's move on to the last one. This is the end of my prepared remarks. I'm happy to take questions, though consistent with the purpose of the follow-up, I hope most will be directed towards management, a large group of whom are here today for just that purpose. Thank you.
Thank you for that update. And I'll just remind committee members that this is an opportunity. You can ask questions of the Auditor General, but as noted, it's also a fantastic opportunity to ask questions of our staff in terms of the follow-up and next steps involving some of the recommendations. And I do see some councillors on the queue, so I'll advance. Councillor Clausen, you have 5 minutes.
Thanks very much. I might start with just a couple of high-level questions to Auditor General. I just want to ask if you feel satisfied with the pace of implementation across departments, given that 40% of recommendations remain partially implemented.
Thank you for that question, Councillor Clausen. I am pleased that there is progress being made, but quite honestly, not to be flippant, I think it's more appropriate for me to ask you if you're satisfied with the rate of progress with the recommendations, and whether you feel that the information that's being provided gives you comfort that things are moving along at a pace that you're comfortable with.
Thanks. Have you identified what you would consider to be any greater risk for any of the recommendations for implementation, just based upon the pace of implementation? Are there ones that kind of stand out for you as potentially creating more risk to the city?
Well, less risk, but certainly around impact, given the current discussions on a 0% budget, for instance. I think it would have been great if perhaps we'd had better clarity on revenue management for Park Board, for instance, given the impact on the bottom line and that being a very topical issue right now. But I would suggest that all of our recommendations have significance. So to say that one is over the other, I don't really have that to offer you.
I wanted just to drill down a little bit on the childcare and leases, and I'm just curious to know, have you thought to review how ACCS monitors leases and reports back on your observations?
Well, the response from ACCS indicates that it does monitor and report back. I haven't seen that, but if you would like me to have a closer look, I'd be happy to undertake that.
Okay. And do you know how many leases will remain in overhold for more than a year? And when does ACCS intend to reduce that number to 0?
I think that probably is a better question directed at management.
Okay. Thanks. Is there a representative of ACCS here to speak to that?
I see someone getting it. Margaret's here.
Good morning, Margaret Witkins, GM, ACCS. There are currently 20 leases still in overhold, and that is down from 34 when the audit was undertaken. And so we have made some significant headway in addressing the number of leases in overholding. We have a prioritized plan related to how we work through the remaining leases in overholding, as well as a priority around ensuring that we don't enable more leases to fall into overholding, particularly for more than a year, which was the threshold identified as part of the audit work. Each lease that is in overholding has a unique set of considerations that help to determine the timeframe that it takes to address it. And so that is part of the reason why there remain 20. We have to work through them. Some of them are tied to complex lease discussions, capital improvements, and other considerations.
And the target still remains to get to 0 in terms of the number of overholds?
The near-term target includes getting to leases not being in overholding for more than a year. It will take us some time based on the resources we have, as well as the capacity of our MPO partners to actually work through the remaining 20 due to the complexity.
Okay, thanks very much. Those are my questions, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Clausen. Councillor Zhou.
Oh, okay, thanks, Chair. Yeah, thanks for the report from our Auditor General Committee and also the office. So my question is about slide number 5. I'm just trying to understand this graph. The x-axis is the timeline, so that's the recommendation date or that's the reporting date? Just trying to understand how to interpret this graph.
Are you talking about the reported summary of results?
That's right, yeah, that's the one.
So what that represents is along the x-axis is follow-ups that we've provided.
Follow-up,
So this is the 5th follow-up that we have provided to council. So the first one being in December of 2023. And on the y-axis is the number of recommendations. You'll see, though, that the total number of recommendations increases over time because we've issued more reports as time has gone on. Then the bars there represent the proportion of recommendations that have reached the different status, fully completed, partially implemented, or not at all.
Okay, so if it is a follow-up date, that number should be accumulated for all the recommendations your office has made in the past.
That's what it represents if you look on the far right for December of 2025.
Yeah.
So 27 fully implemented, 19 partially, and 1 no progress yet. So the line indicates the proportion of fully implemented.
Okay, because of we made more recommendations, so you'll see the
That's right.
December 2024 has going down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that means for all the recommendations you made in the past 3 years, 43% still not been taking any action.
Well, they're not yet fully
Not
implemented.
yet. Okay. And do we know the expected actions in the future or not?
Well, that's sort of the purpose of the report, so that
Okay.
the detail is provided by management as to the status of their progress.
Okay. And also, is there an industry standard? What is the target for that percentage? Do we know?
There really isn't.
Okay.
And you'll appreciate that the different auditor generals have a different follow-up process, and many don't report information like this at all. So I don't really have a benchmark to compare to.
Okay. Yeah, just trying to make sense. 57 is good or bad? Okay, I guess we cannot make any conclusion at this stage.
Well, it also depends on the nature of the individual recommendations. Some are easy
Yeah,
to
that's
implement,
right.
some take an awful lot of work.
Yeah. Okay, last question is, let me know, Mike, if this is an in-camera question or not. So, Auditor General is a very important function for our city, but when you are dealing with all different departments, have you received any resistance?
Have I received any which, I'm sorry?
Any resistance or pushback?
Resistance?
Yeah.
Well, no, of course, under the Auditor General bylaw, city staff are required to support my work and make themselves available and provide information that's requested. And to date, we have received that.
Great, thanks. Really good to hear this answer. Thanks. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Zhou. I appreciate those questions. I do have a question. Do we have representation from the police board here today? No? Okay, department. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I wanted to circle back around the enterprise risk management recommendations. Just noting there was a recent meeting. Was the risk register and recommended ERM framework approved? Has that been approved and undertaken?
Yes, Draza Manojlovic, Director of Enterprise Risk Management for the Vancouver Police Department, and yes, they were both approved.
Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. It's good news to hear. And also, just lastly, the human capital risk category, was that added as well?
Yes, it was with the definition that was in the submission.
Okay, fantastic. Good to hear that. I appreciate that. Um, Are there other questions by committee members? Just noting this is our last opportunity to do so. Checking in with anyone online, Vice Chair or Councillor Montague?
Yeah, Chair, can I be added to the queue, please? It's Councillor Carvia.
Yes, certainly. I will add you, Vice Chair, or if you are on the queue, go ahead, I'll advance you.
Okay, thanks so much. My question is around specifically on the building permit fees here, and I'm wondering if we have staff there to address that question. If I could direct it to the department.
Yeah, I see Corey O'Kell getting up.
Oh.
So let's just give her a
Great.
moment.
No problem.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Corey. The question that I have, really looking back at the nature of that recommendation, was I think an intention to work towards full cost recovery. And I know that the model is still showing a significant shortfall. And I'm also seeing that the recommendation looks to be fully implemented, but it appears that there's no guidance developed yet for renovations and larger scale developments. So I'm wondering, does that mean that there's work still to be done and the recommendations only partially implemented? I know it's been 3 years, so I'm just trying to get a sense of where we are on that work. It's an important piece.
Yeah, so the cost recovery, I might be able to direct that to Colin from Finance.
Colin's just,
And then I can speak to the development after that.
okay. Colin, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, again, as outlined in the fee report that we took to council just recently in November as part of the budget, is that, like, broadly, we are seeing cost recovery, just noting that it will take time to recover historical deficits that have accumulated, but that was anticipated in our multi-year projections. And so the staff have identified a number of initiatives to reclaim revenues to help bridge that gap, and so we're making progress in that regard.
Colin, following up on that, what does the timeline look like in terms of closing that gap and concluding that?
So again, staff are working on finalizing, updating multi-year projections, but within the projections that we identified, that it would be less than a 5-year period, and working to achieve it sooner as we update numbers.
Okay, so you do think we have a chance to get there quicker than 5 years? That's a long
Yes.
time. Okay, thanks for that. So Corey, back to you if I can. Looking to really understand kind of where we are in the 3 years for the renovations and larger scale developments guidelines. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So we did start with our most repetitive stream for our digital transformation program, which was our low-density housing. We are shifting to the renovation center in the new year. That's on our digital roadmap to start looking at those. And then because it's reusable technology, we'll then move on to larger scale developments in the latter half of next year.
Okay, so I appreciate that in terms of sequencing of the work. Can you just identify why? I think it shows that recommendation is complete, but it sounds like it's not yet. It's partially complete.
So for recommendation 3, which is enhancing our guidance, it's partially implemented, is what I have it noted as.
Okay, so maybe a clarification there then. Okay. All right, so I'm looking forward to that. Technology will be super helpful. Thank you for the update. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Kirby-Young. And with that, seeing no one else on the queue for questions, we do not actually have a recommendation to move. So that does actually conclude this report in our agenda. We will be moving to the Cascadia room for the in-camera portion of this meeting. And so at this time, can I get a motion to adjourn? Moved, seconded? Seconded. All in favor? And that carries. I think I can't see those online. Yeah, that carried. Thank you. So we'll just take a couple of minutes to move to the Cascadia room and just flagging that for those of you online as well. Thank you.
Sarah, do we
Yep.
stay on this link or do we join another one?
It'll be a different link.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks for checking. I think it's in our calendars. Thanks,
thank you.
everyone. Oh, it's being sent out right now, just to be clear, sorry. Thank you.